Hey, everybody, I'm Ed Friedman. I chair Friends of Merrymeeting Bay. Thank you for coming tonight. This is a special occasion here. I'm going to do a little intro here about Friends of Merrymeeting Bay, and then I'll introduce John Mirren, who's the artistic director and of PT Theater, and then we will switch over to the production and go from there. So I do want to say thank you to Martin McDonough, who's on here, our Zoom coordinator, John Mirren, our sort of artist in residence right now, and Angela Wheeler's on the call from Bowdoin Central School, one of four teachers who participated in this program. If you have any questions during the program, use the chat box in your Zoom toolbar, and if you feel like just letting us know even where you are from, that would be interesting too, if you're not from the area anyway. This is the last event in our 26th year of doing a winter speaker series. And I think probably this summer, we're going to try and get a summer series going again. We haven't had one since COVID started. So I can't tell you what the next event will be yet, but if you signed up, we'll get you on our mailing list, and when we do get some summer stuff going, you'll get a notice about that. If anyone has ideas for next season's winter speaker series, you can email me, edfomb@comcast.net. Anyone besides who's ever speaking, like Martin or myself or John, please mute yourself if Martin hasn't done it already, so we don't get telephones ringing. Having said that, I better turn off my ringer. And yeah, so phones off, questions in the chat, and let's go. So we are a unique organization in that we look at the Bay and the environment in a holistic fashion, doing research, advocacy, land conservation, and education. A lot of it is pretty cutting edge. A few examples of some of our research over the years, using cage mussels to find PCB dioxin hotspots, aerial vegetation changes over time, going back to the 50s. We're still doing bald eagle surveys, hoping to do some archaeology this summer. We use our research, such as looking at water quality, to inform our advocacy. Including what we just did after years and years and years to upgrade the lower Androscoggin River from a Class C to a Class B, which means that higher levels of dissolved oxygen, which will be preserved, which means that it is more healthy and better for fish and everyone else. We do a lot of work with turbine mortality and fish passage past dams. You can see some pretty grisly photos here. We try and stop that. And we have had a very active education program. Unfortunately, with COVID, we're not doing so much in-class stuff, but working with PT Theater has been an exception, and a wonderful one at that. I hope to get back to our Bay Day in the fall, where we have a lot of outdoor activities going on. And of course, this program is part of our speaker series. Protected well over 1,500 acres of land around the Bay over the years, most of it high-value wildlife habitat. That is our focus, not recreation. We just completed a conservation easement last fall, and again, we would hope to do some archaeology on that. It's got some historical archaeology potential and possibly prehistoric. Just found the second prehistoric wooden fish weir to be found in Maine a couple of years ago, and they've gotten a bunch of radiocarbon dates going back 3,600 years right out here in the Bay. So that's about the time that the Egyptians were stopping building their pyramids, or at the tail end. If you like the program, we'll have it recorded, and it'll be on the home page here down the right side, going to education. There's a speaker series video list here. We go back about 10 years with that, but we don't have recordings of the ones from way back. But anyway, it'll be there. And the end of our series, this one's not on there because it was a bonus. We didn't know quite when we were going to have it done. So let me introduce John. What I say is PT Theater's artistic director. He's a playwright, he's a performer, he's a teacher. His plays have been performed in New York, regionally, internationally. His performance in WritingTheWave.com was nominated in 2004 and 2008 by independent reviewers of New England for Best Solo Performance for Small Company. In 2014, he received an award from Club Passim's Iguana Fund for the songs he's written with PT Theater's musician in residence, Carrie Ferguson. John has also received the Children's Theater Foundation of America Orand Harris Fellowship, and is a two-time finalist for the Actors Theater of Louisville Heidman Award. That's a lot of names for an award. John's taught dramatic writing down at BU, Boston University, at New England Youth Theater, Boston Arts Academy, and Creative Arts at Park. He's led residencies and created new work with children and teens in schools throughout New England. And he's worked several times in the past with us on some B programs and others, and has said that, collaboration with a local environmental group like Friends of Miramichi Bay is sort of an ideal situation for a performance like this. And I do want to say that this performance is funded in part by the New England States Touring Foundation, a program of the New England Foundation for the Arts, as well as some local donors as well. And I want to again thank Bowdoin Central School, and particularly Angela and Christine Egan, teachers we've worked with in the past on Day, for really taking a chance on us here and getting their kids and the other kids at school involved. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing, give my screen over to John, and he'll say a few words and then launch into tonight's program. And we'll have some little discussion or Q&A at the end. The program's only about 30 minutes. So thank you, John.
Thanks, Ed. It's great to be at this moment where, we had this fun residency in the fall up in Maine and working with about 80 third and fourth graders. And I'm betting that a few of the actors are on this call tonight, but if not, the whole school, I think, is going to watch either tomorrow or next week. And without further ado, I'm going to screen share, and it's called Our Town, Bowdoin Life in the 1800s, title from Ed Friedman, closet artist. And if you have any trouble with this stream over Zoom, sometimes people's Zoom stream video can be a little glitchy. Just feel free to go into the chat and click on that first link in the chat, and you can watch it on your own on Vimeo, and then just rejoin us for a short discussion after the movie. All right, here we go.
Dad? Dad? Dad?
Sorry, just closed off there. Yeah, what's up?
Did you ever know your great-great-grandfather?
My great-great-grandfather. No, I didn't know him, but I was alive, or he was alive when I was alive, younger than you. My great-grandfather. Why do you ask?
Because in school we're learning about Bowdoin history.
Oh, cool. Well, what are you learning about?
The 1800 schoolhouses and house.
Oh, yeah, those are all kind of facts and figures, but what's cool about history is to really try to imagine yourself there. Imagine what it was like. No electricity, no cars. You want to try to imagine it?
Sure.
For thousands of years, indigenous peoples from the Kennebec, Eastern Abenaki, and other tribes lived in and around what we now call Bowdoin, Maine. In the 1600s, Europeans began arriving, and in 1788, the town of Bowdoin was incorporated. It was not long after that when the people living there began thinking about something we take for granted these days: a road. They needed a road to Bowdoinham and the shores of Merrymeeting Bay so that they could sell their lumber to the emerging shipbuilding industry. And who knows, maybe they also wanted to visit some of their friends and neighbors, go see the doctor, or just gaze across the bay towards the Atlantic. Finally, in 1797, Bowdoin residents James Rogers and Ebenezer Temple decided the time was right.
This is never gonna work. What's never gonna work? We need a road to the Canada. But to do that, we have to ask the Bowdoinham Selectmen.
You know about the Bowdoinham Selectmen? They're very cranky.
But we can try asking them. We know you want to build a road through our town. We need to build a road to the Kennebec so we can get goods to the world. You will be building the road through other people's land. What are you going to tell them? We can ask permission and we can buy it. We can afford that. Do you think building a road is a good idea?
Why should we build a road already if we already have a path?
$1 million. We have made our decision. We will let you build the road. Yay! But for a price. I can't find a tree.
Rogers and Temple may not have imagined in 1797 just how useful access to the Bowdoinham Landing and the Kennebec would become for future generations. Bowdoin may not have had lots of water, but it did have lots of wood. And with this new road, sawmill owners had a chance to sell their timber around the world. In a book called The Water Powers of Maine by Walter Wells, published in 1869, he described Bowdoin's 9 water powers, meaning the 9 places in Bowdoin where the water ran downhill or over a waterfall quickly enough to power a mill. Some of those places had enough water to make the mill run half the year, like at Caesar's Pond. Some had enough water for 3/4 of the year, like on the Dead River. But the best place was called the Huff Mill on Cadence Stream, which ran all year round.
So, you want to go get a horse?
Oh yeah, perfect.
Man, this one might be a little bit too naughty.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that one. This one.
Alright, I'll put this.
Okay, you drop that one down.
Hey guys, got a horse.
Okay, good. I'll chop this one down. Gonna chop this one down.
Yeah, it's a good one.
This one's too naughty. That one. No. You guys have the horses?
Yo, I got a horse. The logs are all set.
Giddy up!
Yeah, I know.
Up today.
Oh yeah, I know.
Really hot. Scorcher. Wonder if the mill can handle all this timber.
Yeah, I wonder. The only thing I want to do is just get home at this point.
My arms are killing me. Yeah, same. I actually cannot bear this anymore. Come on, guys, on 1, 2. Oh my God. Hey, drop it, guys, drop it. Let's drop it. Yeah. Push it through, drop it. Push it through. Guys, come on, look it up. We gotta feed it through the hole. Okay. Yeah, we get that. Push it through. Mom, this is the 18th one. We got this. See, it was easy. Let's go get another log.
Things did not always go smoothly.
Come on, guys. We have the schedule.
Oh, I got a splinter.
You're okay.
Got another one.
Good job.
Why does this keep happening?
You're working with wood.
Ow, I got another really bad one. Can I have some gloves now?
We don't have money for it. Sorry.
I'm not gonna work here if you're gonna be like this. I'll be a farmer.
You're overreacting. I just said sorry. You'll regret this. You'll be poor. Bye, Jonathan.
Bye, Jonathan.
Keep on working. Don't care about that Jonathan. He made this really bad mistake.
We don't have any wood. So if you keep making us make more lumber, we're gonna quit.
Then I'll find better men.
Bye then.
Things did not always go smoothly for the animals living in the trees.
Hey, want to cut this one down?
Yeah. There's a squirrel in it.
Don't worry.
They can
They'll
find a
find
new
a-
place to live.
Yeah, probably.
You greedy, selfish people. Would you like it if I just came over to your house and started chopping down your house? No, I didn't think so. So why do you have to chop down this beautiful tree? Because it's nice and straight and we need a good tree. That one's straight. There's a tree right there. There's thousands of trees in the world. Did it really have to be this one? Yeah, because this one's nice and straight. Well, you're nice and straight. You're nice and straight. Why can't you chop yourself down? Well, we're not trees.
Yeah, because we're not trees.
Well, then why can't you chop that one down? Okay, then we'll go chop that one down.
With all those sawmills going, sometimes there was some competition for who would get certain jobs. For example, down in Bowdoin, they were building large wooden ships for a good part of the 1800s. And for that, they needed wood.
Probably like 12 or 15. We actually do get 12 and like 15 too.
Excuse me, we're building a boat called the Neptune, and we need a mill that can get us more lumber.
We could probably get you 30 logs in probably a week.
We probably could get 40
50
logs. 50 logs.
Probably, yeah, 50.
in
2 days. I mean, not 2 days. 2 weeks, probably. A week.
Yeah. Okay. Which one of your lumbers is more straighter?
Ours.
Yeah.
Okay. Except that one.
Can I see your samples real quick?
We have them right here. We don't have very many notches done.
Heck yeah.
We could use yours lumber because it's more straighter and it has less knots. But because yours has more knots, we're not going to be more able to cut it more like straighter because there's so many knots.
How about we build the mast and they build the body?
Yeah, I
hear that.
That sounds good. Down on Saturday, and we can talk about it. And that just sounds awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
In 1883, there were 18 one-room schoolhouses in Bowdoin. Now you might be wondering why there were so many schools for a not very big town. But remember, there was no school bus, so students needed to walk to school or sled or get a ride on their parents' horse. Each school had a stove or two to help keep the room warm in winter. Students brought wood and their lunches along with their books and their slate. The slate is what they used to do math or practice their writing. Younger children and older children were all taught in the same room at the same time.
The boys will be sitting on this side of the room. The girls will sit on the far side of the room. That's why you're in the lines where you are. Go in, please. If you have wraps or hats, of course, you know the boys do not wear hats in the building. So you may leave your hats and your lunch boxes along. There are hooks for the hats and coats, and lunch boxes can go on the floor underneath. Celia Orr,
Present, ma'am.
Grace Osmond,
Present, ma'am.
Hazel Williams.
Present, ma'am.
Well, first of all, if you need to use the privy is outside there. It is open. There is a yellow slipper hat hanging on the hooks. If you need to go out in this rain, you can put that on.
Okay.
Absolutely quiet, except the person who is didn't spell correctly. All right. First word is line. You stand in line. This goes one by one. It's not a voluntary thing. You get what I throw at you. Okay. First word is line. You are standing in line. Come in. This one. Line. You say the word, spell the word, say how many syllables it is, and say the word again. Line.
Capital L.
No, excuse me. Say the word.
L-I-N.
Sunday.
Sunday.
Mhm.
S-U-N-D-A-Y. Sunday.
Say the word. I'm sorry, I didn't spell it down. Your word to spell is what we celebrate as the second day of the work week, Tuesday. Please spell the word Tuesday. Say it, spell it, say it.
Tuesday. T-U-E-S-D-A-Y. Tuesday. One syllable.
Is it one syllable?
Two syllables.
Two syllables. However, there was an element missing.
If Tom is fishing and he can get $2 when he sells bass, how much more would Tom receive when he sold bass than shad? Elizabeth, come on, what were you doing?
I was talking about the math problem, ma'am.
Do we have talking in this room? For shame. Excuse me. That is not acceptable. Amy and Charlotte, will you please sing for us in French?
Yes, Mom. Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous, sole la motina, ding, ding, dong. Ding, ding, dong, are you sleeping, Brother John? Brother John,
this year, and I will miss you this summer, but I hope to be back in the fall. And we'll progress. You've made good progress this year. Keep reading this summer, do your chores, help each other. Remember the golden rule. Now, this group may start out first.
Yes, let's go! Summer! Summer! Summer here! Let's go!
School is out, school is out. What can we do but jump and shout? School is out, school is out. Let's run and run and run about. When breakfast is done, we open the door. Don't see our parents until 3 or 4. Kids running through the meadows, making up games. Kids outside, even when it rains. School is out, school is out. What can we do but jump and shout? School is out, school is out. Let's run and run and run about. Go swimming in the pond, climb a tree, dig tunnels in the dirt, skin our knees. Kids running through the meadows with nothing to do except play, play, play until summer is through. Nothing to do, nothing to do, nothing, 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 nothing to do, nothing to do, nothing to do, nothing, 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 nothing to do.
Nothing to do? Have you seen the farm? There are so many chores to do.
Come on, children, hop in the cart. Apple orchard! Apples are yummy! These apples are so yummy. Yeah. There's some free apples. There. Apples. Thank you, tree. Apples. Thank you, tree. Oh, there's some apples. Perhaps my branch gonna break off in a few seconds. I can't get this one. Okay, my branch. Yeah, my branch. This apple looks yummy. This apple has worms in it. Oh, that's bad. You should probably go to that tree because this one looks like it has some worms in it. So how about you go right now?
After all the apples were picked, some were eaten right here in Bowdoin.
I need my apple. Okay, you guys. Or there was still my apple.
Apples from Bowdoin were shipped to New York City and to Europe, where they were eaten by kings and queens.
Perfect apple for me. What if it has worms? This apple is very royal. I earned $1.50. I earned $1.75. I earned $2.05. I earned $2.06. Ah!
After earning money apple picking, one of the favorite places to spend money was at the county fair, where there were musicians And prizes for the biggest pig.
Back in the bed. And you get back in the bed. Get in there. Come on. All right.
And prizes for the biggest cow.
Let's pick the word.
Let's put.
It should be that one.
Yeah, we'll pick this big cow.
Either that one or that one.
Yeah, we'll choose this cow.
Now show it black and white, bless it.
Yeah, we'll choose this cow.
Yeah. Biggest cow is that one.
Step right up and win the county fair prize. It's simple. I give you a ball, you knock over 4 pins in 3 tries. It costs a nickel, but you could win the county fair prize. Get $100 and a picture on the Wall of Fame wall. Hello, would you like to try? That is 1 nickel. Okay, here is your ball. Miss! You knocked one down. Last try. You did it! Let's go get you your $100.
I hate being that.
Here you go. Let's go down and get you a picture.
In the second half of the 1800s, a new kind of beehive made its way to Bowdoin.
This is a new kind of beehive made with boxes that you stack on top of each other and frames that slide in and out that make it easy for the beekeeper to see what's going on with the bees.
Can we touch it?
You can touch it. That's real honeycomb.
Do I want
You know what?
honey?
I have an idea.
Can we eat it?
Now, right now, let's try catching a swarm and see how we do.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's do that.
No, I'm allergic to honey.
Well, you don't have to eat any honey right now. We're just going to catch a swarm.
Well, get the high. Should we step away?
You step away.
Step
We're
away
gonna try
from the
shaking
bees.
the branch, see if we can catch a swarm. Step away, step away. All the way away.
Hold me, mommy.
I think they like it.
Yes,
What do you think?
they really do.
All right.
Please leave it there overnight.
Let's just leave them. And, you know, having bees goes really well with having an orchard.
Bee and the blossom and the bee. Apples and honey go together, you see. The bee and the blossom and the bee.
That's why I have an orchard and an apiary.
That's why you have an orchard and an apiary. What's that?
An apiary is a place where honeybees are kept. Come on, I'll show you.
What's up, guys?
What's the matter?
Well, what if some people say it one way and your grandfather said it different? How do you know which way is right? For example, my friend Evan's grandmother said it one way and you said your grandfather said it differently.
Oh, that's a really good question. So you're saying like two people have different memories of the same event in the past, and so like, or two people are writing about history and they have different ways that it happened. They disagree about how it happened. Yeah, that is a good question. So I don't have a really good answer.
But if you imagine one person with, say, blue glasses and another person with, say, green glasses, and each one sees the whole world either as green or blue,
one thing they could do is try to exchange their glasses just for a time and see how the world looks.
Everybody sees the world through their own lens. Everybody has their own challenges and friends. Lend me your glasses, I'll give mine to you. Let's share our glasses, yellow, green, and blue. Talk to me about what you see. Talk to me, let's share our history. We'll try to see all the points of view before we choose what we want to do. Everybody sees the world through their own lens. Everybody has their own challenges and friends. Lend me your glasses, I'll give mine to you. Let's share our glasses, yellow, green, and blue. History has happened and we can't go back, but we can learn from the past. Who tells the story? Who makes the choice? Everyone should have a voice. Lend me your glasses, help me learn what you see. Lend me your glasses, let's see what the world can be. Lend me your glasses, help me learn what you see. Lend me your glasses, let's see what the world can be. Let's share our glasses, we'll clean the lens. Let's share our glasses so we can be friends. Everybody sees the world in their own way. So many ways to be. Let's share our glasses right away. Lend me your glasses, help me learn what you see. Lend me your glasses, let's see what the world can be. Lend me your glasses, help me learn what you see. Lend me your glasses, let's see what the world can be.
Welcome back. I hope you all enjoyed that. And I think now we're going to turn it over to Ed, maybe to start us off with a couple of questions, maybe for me. And we're very pleased to have Angela Wheeler on the Zoom. Angela Wheeler is not only a fourth grade teacher who helped that whole week but is also, if I'm not wrong, the president of the Bowdoin Historical Society. So that combination made our lives so much easier. So Ed, you want to start us off? And as Ed's asking these questions, anyone can feel free to write your own questions or comments in the chat, and we'll answer them as well.
So that was fantastic, John. This is the first time I had seen the whole finished production. And I want to just let people know how we got into this briefly. Hoping to do more with PT Theater. We'd done some stuff on bees before, but the Our Town production, I watched a production they did down in Massachusetts on a gentleman who was in the 1800s. I think it was a doctor and a geologist doing some digging in his backyard for something, and he found these rocks, and they were pretty cool because they had what looked like animal tracks in them. And it turns out that he found dinosaur fossils. And PT did a wonderful program focused on this town, which was either Deerfield or Greenfield. I don't remember, John. And the fact that they became known for these dinosaur tracks, the big bird tracks. And so that's on the PT website. I recommend people watching it. I watched it. I was very enamored by it. It's a small cast. They all had done some acting before, as opposed to the group at Bowdoin here. So it's kind of different in that regard. But PT and the kids did such a wonderful job. I thought, could we bring this to the Merrimack Bay area and focus on some aspect of the bay? Fish, shipbuilding, ice harvesting, timber harvesting, something like that. And so Bowdoin Central was the first school to we could do that with, and we hope to expand it. I'd like to know, John, briefly before I ask Angela how this fit in with her program, if you could just say a few words about different parts of the production. You did limited stuff with the kids at school, and can say what you did during a 1-week residency. But if you could explain how you came up here and what you did, and then the back, the back of the house stuff, the editing, the choreography, the sound, how that all kind of works.
Sure, yeah. And I remember there was at least one of the classes where we had a little moment to talk a little bit about the post-production, the stuff that happens after the filming with the kids. But I'm happy to talk a little bit about the process. So obviously the writing of it started before we got there. We were there, I think, maybe the 2nd or 3rd week of October of 2022. I think we started, I started actually reading books about Bowdoin and Bowdoinham, the area, in August. And then and I think I had actually stopped in and been provided some materials by Elizabeth Steen, who played the school teacher earlier that summer. But anyway, then Angela and I had a series of Zoom meetings where we sort of talked about what the topic should be. And Angela basically kind of made everything very clear and made it also clear, what topics would work best and what the resources were. And so that just happened over a few weeks before October. And then, so we went up there with sort of a basic outline of a script and also, series of shots that we thought to be able to tell the story. Then we filmed it with the kids. We had 4 classes, so 4 teachers who were all very enthusiastic and helpful, and filmed that last song, the song that you see at the end, I think on the last day of shooting on Friday. And then we actually were busy finishing another movie, but basically from there, it all goes, the materials all kind of went to our editor, Brendan Leowolf, who's he actually teaches video at a local high school, but he's also a filmmaker and just a really great editor. He edited Canary in a Gold Mine, which was our sort of big foray into film during COVID for adults. And he and I sort of do what's called an assembly. Mainly, in this case, he did most of the assembly, where he sort of like picks out the good little chunks that he thinks are basically telling the story, looking at the script and at his Adobe Premiere, timeline at the same time. And then he sends that to me, and then, we talk about it. I send back edits, and then we do that a few times. And then eventually, when we are sure that this is the story, that these are the shots we want, eventually it goes to a sound designer in Brooklyn named Florian Staub, who basically tries to fix, we had, as you noticed, some pretty serious wind issues. We're not like filmmakers by trade, we're theater people by trade. We sort of call this streaming theater. But Florian then basically cleans up all the sound and adds some of the sound effects. And then voila, there's kind of a movie. So that gives you just a little arc. And someone, Chuck Thomas, is asking how long did it take? So I guess overall, you could say that it was basically a 10-month process, but it's not like 10 months of 40 hours a week. It's like sporadic here and there where these different artists have time. And I think, like, for example, Nina Gross, who's a new collaborator, I think she was in the audience, like she came and played violin just a couple of weeks ago, and we recorded her here, and some of those violin tracks made it into the movie. And Carrie Ferguson, who's sort of the vocal songs, we wrote some of those songs, several years ago. And there's an album of PT Theater and Carrie Ferguson, etc. So yeah.
Well, thank you, John. So yeah, everyone did a great job, and again, we're hoping to do some more of this around the Bay with some other communities. When part of the reason we did this was because of COVID. We're used to having these Bay days during the year, and kids are out doing hands-on, and a lot of our volunteers are elderly. It's not very safe to have everyone running around with COVID, obviously. So working with John and a smaller group, his associate Laura Joseph, the way that we could do this stuff, engage the kids in a little bit more controlled fashion and have everyone still be safe. So that was really, that was really a large part of the basis for how we did this or why we did it. Angela, we, obviously not doing the Bay Day, as I say. Can you talk a little bit about how this fit into the school? And I think Christine was here. Yeah, Christine is on the call now. How this fits into your program at school, both in terms of maybe the history and the work, and what you did to prepare the students, and if you did anything afterwards to kind of develop the topics that were brought forward.
Yeah, so in fourth grade, we focus a lot on Maine history, and especially like the natural resources and farming and different things that happen. It's neat because Bowdoin, we are not, we're kind of known as the back country, especially to like Merry Meeting Bay. We don't have a huge waterway like most of the other towns surrounding us. So Bowdoin, back hundreds of years ago, needed a way to get to that highway, the water highway, so that they could access the world. So one way to get there probably would be through Merry Meeting Bay. So the road was an important part of Bowdoin history to try to get what we did have for natural resources, which was timber, to the shipbuilders in Bowdoinham, and have our connection to the world through Merry Meeting Bay. And then in school, we worked with the kids before the movie. Each kid, we kind of planned out the timeline of how the movie was going to go with the students, and some of them, although a lot of the talking parts of the kids was ad lib, we did have somewhat of a script idea of what they might say in those scenes. I know Jonathan worked with us about having some kind of compromise and conflict, and so we tried to work some of those things in, like what would be difficult in the sawmill, or harvesting the apples, or farming, or going to school. What would be some of those compromise and conflict that might occur? And so we tried to work some of those in. It was a really fun project. I think the kids, just to see all the kids be active participants in all the different areas was was really great to see.
Great. I think, and did you talk about it afterwards at all? And delve into any of the subject matter, or was it once you were done, you were done, you know?
Well, we've talked a lot about like the natural resources in our town. In fourth grade, we do the stream studies. So we're seeing how our little tiny stream that's about, 2 feet wide here at Bowdoin Central School actually connects to Mary Meeting Bay. So that things that we do here at Bowdoin Central affect the, the area that heads into Mary Meeting Bay. So we've made connections through the natural resources and just our local history.
Right. Well, there are a few, looks like there are a few students that are on the call here. I don't know if everyone watched the film or not, but do any of you kids want to say anything about how you thought it went at all? Or were you happy with what John and his crew did following your hard work acting and learning lines and stuff like that? Do you want to pipe in with anything?
I think I might have a fourth grade student that looks pretty excited about sharing. Or maybe just if any fourth grader or third grader that wants to share, you can just unmute and we'll know that you want to speak.
I'll say
It was
something
for
Phoebe.
Okay.
I would just say that she came home every single day, really excited, was very invested in finding her costume and sort of the part that their class played, and she sort of narrated through the whole film. So I think it was an awesome experience for them to learn about the town, to have this exposure to acting and to theater and sort of being a part of the process. So from that viewpoint, it was an awesome experiential learning opportunity. So thank you to everyone who made it possible.
Well, yeah, you're welcome, and thank you both for participating. I appreciate that. I do remember hearing one of the students say, acting is hard work.
Yeah.
Do we have another student that wants to speak? Okay, go ahead, unmute.
It was fun to know that I was gonna be on the show, and knowing that I could play a role in it was just super fun.
Thank you. It was fun. It was fun to have you there. Someone was Lauren LeCurk. I'm not sure who's. Do you guys want to say something at all or not? See, you're unmuted, so.
It's fun to like be in it and like do everything.
Yeah, that was a little hard for us to hear, but if you want
I think she said it was fun to do everything. I think that was the person who played James Temple, or if I'm not wrong.
to, okay, no.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Christine, do you want to? Oh, you guys, Andrea, Addie, do you want to say something? I'm not hearing you. I don't see the mute thing, but. Standing by.
Yeah. And they can always, I think they went off. Oh no, they're still there.
Still there.
You can always type a chat too if the sound, there we go.
No, not hearing you. Sorry, I don't know what's going on.
You can also type into the chat. And I got it wrong. She played Ebenezer.
Yeah.
Christine, do you still? So she might. Do you want to say anything, Christine?
It was a wonderful experience, and all the kids had so much fun. They really did look forward to every day that we were on, and they worked hard. I'll tell you, they really worked hard, but it was a lot of fun. And I think it's something that they're always going to remember.
Well, I was in one school play in kindergarten, and I still remember it. Yeah, so that's great. So We still can't hear you, and Andrea and Eddie, so I don't know what the deal is there. So I don't know if there's anything in the chat, otherwise we should probably wrap this up, I suppose.
I think they're typing a chat, so we'll give them a
Okay.
second here.
Okay, all right.
Was there any other students that want to speak? I don't know who else is still on, but
Or any other questions from any other audience members?
very excited to come home and watch tonight. Addie was very excited to come home and watch tonight.
Great.
And I think a lot of our, especially fourth graders and probably a lot of third graders too, had commitments tonight. There was a big chorus practice and a bunch of baseball games and some karate and all kinds of things. So it's nice to see the kids that were able to come at the end. Good. And it
Yeah.
looks like Addie remembered.
Yeah, well, thank you. Appreciate
Reminded
that.
lots of times so that she would be able to get here. So
Well, that's great. And we will be showing this, or hopefully, Angela and Christine will be showing this in school. So the other children will get a chance to see it, and hopefully it'll be a pleasant surprise. So,
And if people want to share it with relatives or friends, etc., that link at the very top of the chat, that's where you can, if you go there, you can share that link.
yeah, and we'll have it up on our website within a day or so as well, so people can go, as I said in the intro, and find it there and pass it on. So, John, I hope that you will. I see your wife is on here too. I want to thank her, and I think she does some choreography stuff.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Shout out to Godelia Richard, who's on the call tonight and who did choreography, helped with costumes, and also was an outside eye who basically watches the edits with me, and basically is kind of I actually runs the company with me and kind of basically also helps me with all these projects. Godelia, if you want to say anything.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to say congratulations to everybody. I love to watch the movie. And yes, I helped quite a lot actually. But I'm very happy to see the product, the end product. It was very beautiful and cute.
Well, thank you. And thank you for your work on it. And I encourage everyone to go to the PT Theater website and kind of scope out what they do, because they do wonderful work with kids really all over the place, and then in Europe as well. And you just sent out an email today, John. Why don't you say what were you invited to, and then we'll kind of wrap this up here.
It's we also do work for adults, and so one of the most recent adult project is this documentary called Canary in a Gold Mine, which anyone can watch on demand. I can put a link in the chat, and it's basically about kind of growing out of an experience our family had with around wireless exposure, etc. And on Monday, I'm going to go down and speak at a telecom conference at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. So that'll be a new adventure. A lot less fun in a lot of ways than going to Bowdoin, but variety is good.
So yeah, so we actually did get a partial grant so far for bringing John back again, probably in the fall, maybe the spring, I'm not sure. And so we need to find another town to work with here. So John will be back, and yeah, thank you again, John, and please convey our thanks to all of the people behind the scenes as well.
Yeah, I'm just going to put the Angela was saying she couldn't see the link to the Vimeo thing in the chat, so I'm just going to before we sign off, I'm going to put that in there. Okay.
All right.
There we
Good.
go.
Well, thank you again, John. Thank you, Martin, and thank you all for coming, and enjoy the rest of your evening. And Angela, we'll get in touch if you want us to join you and when we do the presentation in school. So, and I'll be certainly interested to know how people respond to that. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.
thank you.
Thanks, everybody.